This program is dedicated to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces, past, present, and future. I'm Keith Warren. I'm a hunter.
Talk about dumping him on his butt.
A fisherman.
Wow! Shark fishing with a topwater.
A conservationist.
Don't be bashful. Come on out.
A family man.
Woo, baby.
And I'm proud to be a deer farmer. I'm taking a road trip, and we're going behind the scenes of today's most innovative deer farmers and wildlife management operations in North America. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories. What you're looking at way back there is a storm front coming in right in front of Hurricane Isaac. Hi everybody, welcome to Showing to the great state of Florida. This is the Sunshine State. Although the sun isn't shining, that's a hurricane fixing to barrel in on us. Hopefully we can get done before the hurricane really hits hard. This is Casey Jones's place. Casey's been a deer farmer here for quite some time. He's got some really good deer. And on today's show, we're gonna visit several farms here in Florida, and we're gonna show you what they've got. A lot of people don't even realize that there are deer in Florida, especially big deer. We're gonna introduce you to the guys that are leading the way for the deer business right here in the Sunshine State.
Hi, I'm Casey Jones. I'm also an officer with the Southeast Trophy Deer Association located here in Florida. My wife and I have a farm located in Sumterville, Florida. We've been raising deer since 2005. We're located in Central Florida, kind of the farmland country of Florida. We have 30 acres here at the farm. At this time, we have 10 pens at the facility. The reason why I got into deer farming in the beginning was to become a better hunter. That soon changed after we started raising deer. Didn't want to hunt anymore, so now we're more into the breeding aspects of it. My wife and I have a daughter and a son and 3 grandchildren, which all help here at the farm, and everybody enjoys it, keeps the family close together. It's very good for the family atmosphere.
One of the ways a lot of guys all over the country are really making improvements to their deer herd, they're basically supercharging their genetics by having handling facilities like Casey has here. What this allows is the deer come in through here and they get worked through this handler, and what will happen is they can actually introduce genetics from very superior herds, bring them down here, and that's one way they're producing such big deer with a facility like this.
We primarily do laparoscopic AI on all of our does. We have a breeding facility, a handling system, and we have a doctor that comes in and does all of our breeding each year. And we've had great success with it so far, and the results are starting to show in our bucks at a younger age.
I'll tell you, deer farming down in Florida is just beautiful. It's one of those things a lot of people don't think about. Hold on a second, I'm going to show everybody at home. Now Casey winds up, this is his secret right here to growing big deer. Okay, he's got the, I'm going to actually take some of this with me. All right, let's go look at your buck pen.
You might need a little bit more than that.
Well, I'm going to take this with me. I want to run a test.
Okay.
This is Casey's secret to grow big deer over here in Florida. So who are these guys right here?
This is my 1, 2, and 3-year-old pen right here. Yep.
Wow, there's some nice looking deer. Now, are they the result of artificial insemination or live cover or both?
Mostly AIs, because we like to do the AI. We don't do too much backups here at the farm, but about 80% of those are AIs.
Wow. Well, you can see there's already some of them that are starting to come out of velvet. I mean, you can see the antlers are starting to rub off, aren't they?
This time of year, they start coming off probably the latter part of August.
Well, that guy right there, that's a big one right there. But you've got them, what's the oldest buck in this pen?
3-year-old.
Okay, wow. Casey, you've got some great deer. Now, okay, you talk about artificial insemination. I know you've got a handling facility, but tell everybody how important it is that the northern genetics to bring them down here and help bring them into your herd and to be able to produce something like this, how the northern genetics mature faster.
We've done both ways. We tried the southern genetics. It just seems like they didn't produce at a certain age what the northern deer would by that age. So we try to get the best genetics we can from up north, and we buy the best does we can buy, either AI'd or we bring them down here and AI them. And it seems to be working pretty good.
It's working great. I mean, these are really good looking deer. Okay, if somebody wants more information to come out here and take a farm tour or to actually buy some deer from you, go ahead and give them your telephone number.
My cell number is 352-303-8379.
All right, look them up. We've got to hurry. We've got Hurricane Isaac fixing to slam into Florida, and it just so happens that we're here trying to do a Deer Wildlife Story Show. We're going to head north. We got to go up to Danny and Mark's and all that. So I appreciate you showing me the place.
No problem. Enjoyed having you.
And I need to go find me an umbrella. You better get inside before the storm hits.
Thanks.
Thank you. If you like the way our show looks on your television set, you're going to absolutely love it when you see it in full HD online. And you can watch it on my website 24/7 free of charge at keithwarren.net. Take a look and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I am Danny Lewis, owner of Silverstone Trophy Whitetails in northern Florida, just outside the town of Live Oak.
All right, we're now just outside of Live Oak, Florida. This is Danny Lewis. He owns Silverstone Trophy Whitetails. And I'm sorry I'm late. We got the hurricane and all the wind we're dealing with, but where's your daughter, Lindsay?
Lindsay is just now starting to bottle feed her fawns. If you hurry, you can catch her.
All right, you go do what you need to do. I'm gonna catch up with Lindsay.
We'll take care of it.
Hey guys, come on.
One coming up right here.
Hey Lind, that's McSteamy.
Okay, and this right here is Lindsay. Lindsay is, she's the mom of these babies in here.
I know.
We have come north of Casey's place, and we are at, actually Danny Lewis owns this farm, and he is
There we go.
Lindsay's daddy. And Lindsay, tell him that you were telling me earlier you're a second
Generation deer farmer.
and look at this. Look,
This is McSteamy.
you're bottle raising how many this
I have
year?
8 this year on the bottle. I've been doing it since I was little. I think I raised my first fawn at 3.
As far as the piece of property here, this is a big piece of property. Y'all have got lots and lots of deer out there. I mean, but this is not what I imagined Florida to be like. I didn't think that I was going to see, first off, the pretty country I'm seeing, and secondly, I didn't think I was going to see this many deer.
No, yeah. We have 200 deer on our land that we have. And it's
Okay.
high fence, 2.5 miles around.
Wow. Well, this is a pretty cool deal. She's
Here
got
they
her
come.
babies coming up. Look at them all coming now.
Hi.
They're all coming up. They're gonna get a chance to get something to eat here.
Come on.
Look at that.
Hey guys. Hi.
Danny has been in the deer farming business, I
For
think longer than anybody.
27 years.
27 years.
It was my mom's first anniversary present to my dad.
Really?
Was a buck and 2 does. Oh, can I at least get some sugar? Hi.
What is the number one thing you like about deer farming, more than anything else?
I get to spend it with my daddy,
Really?
really. It's our every weekend thing. We do it all year round. I mean, it's just our thing we do together. If he's going somewhere to do something with deer, I'm in the front seat right there next to him, iPod plugged in. We're jamming out to music and we're talking deer.
And I think it is so awesome that deer bring people together, people that don't even know each other. It's amazing.
It's people that I never thought would be some of my closest friends are deer farmers.
That one wants to eat the camera right there.
That's Taker. She's our little miss. Anything bright and shiny gets her attention.
All right, that guy right there. Who in the world is that, and how old is that buck?
That buck, Keith, is a deer that we're really proud of. His name is Bottoms Up. He, I think, is one of the premier bucks in the country this year. He will undoubtedly score over 300. Last year's a yearling, he was scored at the DFTA conference in Dallas at 240 at 1.
Really? What a deer. I mean, look how pretty he
And
is.
it's amazing that he was able to do that because he was bred to 25, live bred to 25 does this year.
And he still put it on like
And
that?
he still put it on like that. We have a lot of confidence in the deer. All his fawns did well. His pen of fawns did better than any pen that we had. He's a beautiful deer. People who like mainframes and tine length,
He's
I
got
think
that.
his beams are getting close to 30 inches. His tine's got to be 15. But he's a 9x9, fairly typical, fairly uniform. But the fact that he's 2 years old and that big, and you can see by his disposition, he's extremely gentle, and so are his fawns.
Especially in all this wind. With the hurricane coming.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me ask you something. You got any semen out of him available?
Yes, sir. We have 80 straws of semen.
Okay, so
Out of
anybody at
Bottoms Up.
home that wants to AI that deer, you can contact Danny Lewis.
Right.
Okay, now, enough about him. Tell me about that guy right there. That's an older deer.
Right, and that's another deer that we're really proud of. His name is Bailout, and he's been crippled since he was a yearling, but as a yearling he scored 176. Last year, as a 2-year-old, he scored 247. This year we were hoping that he would score close to 300. Unfortunately, over 2 weeks ago, he broke off a 10-inch drop tine.
Wow.
On his right side, our left side, you can see it broke off and he trashed up his horns really bad.
Wow.
Unfortunately, from that point on, his horns never grew much more, but he still has to be 250 at 3. Besides, if you like a widespread mass and extra points, and he's had a drop tine ever since he's, for 3 years, he's 3 years old, he's had drop tines.
Really?
Here, so
That's cool. Let me ask you, you've been deer farming for a long time. Probably a lot of guys call you the grandfather of deer farming here in Florida.
I've been around a little bit.
Yeah, you've been around a long time. What is it about deer farming that keeps you deer farming?
The beauty of the animal. I just admire them, and I can't explain why. There's some things that I've always had an affection for since I was just a young boy. And deer, I remember the first deer that I took when I was 14 in the Everglades. We threw him up on our swamp buggy and we headed home, and I laid his head in my lap, and I half cried and half laughed all the way home. And that was a spike, and a 3-inch spike has led to almost my lifelong compassion. But I think the thing that's most interesting about deer is what they've done for me. I've never drank and I've never done drugs because I've always had something to do, and it's always revolved around white-tailed deer.
You've done a really good job. All right, somebody wants to buy some deer from you. I mean, you sell deer, don't
Right.
you?
Yep. I need to sell deer to pay for the feed.
Yep. So you sell bucks, does, fawns, and you got deer semen for sale. So
right.
if somebody wants to buy any of that from you, give them a telephone number, how they can contact you.
Okay, our number is 386-209-0459.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Deer Guardian Misting Systems, DNA Solutions, and the North American Deer Registry, Four Canyons Ranch, Hoff Power Polaris, the Hunter Heritage Foundation, and Record Rack Deer Feeds.
Hi, I'm Chris Wimsey with the Southeast Trophy Deer Association. I'm the Vice President, and we're an association that supports deer breeders as well as hunting ranches and pretty much all deer enthusiasts. The mission for the Southeast Trophy Deer Association is simple. It's really just to promote the deer industry here in Florida. We've got about over 100 members currently. We've got some out-of-state membership, but mostly members from Florida. They're all deer enthusiasts for the most part, and then deer breeders as well as preserve owners.
Tell them what the Southeast Deer Association
The
is.
Southeast Deer Association is from Florida, and we are for open borders completely. We feel that everybody should have a chance to have the type of deer that they like. Some people like southern deer, some people like northern deer. I prefer personally albino deer, but you don't get them in Florida, so I have to buy albino deer out of the state. So we believe.
I'm going to address this, open borders. That's a huge hot potato, big time, big time. And any deer farmer watching the show, I know you're all watching the show, you're probably saying, where do you stand on it, Keith? I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom for Americans to be able to choose to do business the way they want to choose. And I think that we have way too much regulation and way too many things, including a lot in the deer business. And I just believe that when it comes to open borders, I think there needs to be a really, really good reason for a state to not have open borders. And Texas doesn't have open borders. Years ago, they changed that. A lot of guys really wanted to have closed borders. They did close the borders, and now some of those same guys that got the borders closed want the borders reopened. And I'm a believer that once you lose your freedom at anything, you're really probably not going to ever get it back.
We were in Florida when the borders were closed because we've done it for so long. The borders were closed once before, and after 5 years, we had the problem of inbreeding. And with inbreeding, you get deer with so many issues. And so it's good to have your borders open because you can bring deer in to introduce new lines and new genetics into your herd to cancel out problems of inbreeding and line breeding too close.
I think that's a good point. I mean, so as far as freedom, freedom to choose.
And I'd like to have one day my own third generation deer farmer and be able to have what they wanted raised as deer.
Really? So you mean you'd like to raise your kids around deer?
Yeah.
Imagine that, folks.
I know.
Imagine
Deer
that.
farmer. But I think it's the greatest thing. If it was up to me, it would be a law for everyone in the world to have to raise a deer. If I was president of the world, that would be my law. Everyone has to have a pet deer.
And I think that's pretty doggone cool. I do say this, and I say this often. is that odds are if you're at home and you don't like deer, well, first off, you probably shouldn't be watching the show, but if you're at home and you don't like deer, odds are I probably don't like you. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my first word was deer, so.
Was it really?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm meant to be a deer farmer and to like deer and to raise deer. It's just, it's my thing. It's what I get excited about.
And I think that is pretty doggone cool. Hear that, guys? I mean, that's a pretty girl and she likes deer and I like that. It's time for viewer feedback, brought to you by winadeerfarm.com, presented by High Roller Whitetails. This is from Jerry Quinn. He's from Florida. Says, I've been watching your deer farming show now for a long time and I want to win that deer farm in that Win a Deer Farm sweepstakes. I see you advertise it all the time, but I don't know how to enter. So how about helping me out? You should tell folks how to enter. Thanks, Jerry Quinn. Jerry, we do tell people how to enter, and it's real simple. If you want to win a deer farm, if you want to register to win a deer farm, all you got to do is absolutely free. Now, we're not giving away the land, but we're giving away everything else to have a deer farm. All you need to do is go online to winadeerfarm.com and register, and somebody, we're going to give them every single thing it takes to set them up in the deer farm. And Jerry, it just may be you. Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by winadeerfarm.com, presented by High Roller Whitetails, Game Management Software, the North American Deer Farmers Association, New Dart, Shock Effect Probiotics, and Keith Warren's Texas Hidden Springs Ranch, the best value for Texas trophy deer hunting.
I'm Marc Owens, president of the Southeast Trophy Deer Association and owner of Whitetail Country Plantation.
All right, so tell me about these bucks in here. They're yearlings, right?
Yes, sir. All these are yearlings in this pen. We have some Jekyll, some grandsons off of Jekyll. We have some Smoke genetics in here. We have some Fleece genetics in here.
So you've got really a good mix of some of the best genetics in the country all down here. And did you do this through AI?
We purchased a number of deer up north and brought them down.
Okay.
But we have deer from all over. We have some Texas genetics, Oklahoma genetics, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. We kind of mixed it up so that we could have a smorgasbord, you might say. The association was started on keeping the borders open. We are for open borders, freedoms that America was built upon.
Well, let's go look at some 2-year-olds.
Okay.
Boy, these are some nice looking deer. How old are they?
These are all 2-year-olds
Okay.
in this pen.
Wow.
This is a variety of genetics.
Okay.
These are going to be all pasture deer.
Okay, good. Now, folks, you may be wondering what pasture deer are. Pasture deer are when they are released into large pastures and they have an opportunity to pass those genetics. Just like Mark said, these are all different genetic backgrounds, but pass those genetics onto the native land, I'll put it that way. Many times, you know what I found is that a lot of places, even though, let's just say they have a high game fence, they can't grow a big deer because the genetics aren't there.
Correct.
And for that, buy pasture deer. Pasture deer will fix that just like that.
Absolutely. The genetics are the most important.
You better believe it. I mean,
Feed's important.
feed's important. Don't get
The
us wrong.
genetics,
But,
people sometimes lose how important genetics are.
well, they're beautiful. I mean, that one deer that's really wide.
That's right.
I mean, that's a nice wide buck. I mean, these deer are beautiful. And to think about it, you're growing them here in northern Florida.
There's some big deer here.
Yeah, you got some big deer. The most impressive thing about coming to your farm is pretty. I love these trees, and the deer are absolutely beautiful. But you have got the best kids.
Thank you very much.
You've got some
That's
great
the best
kids.
compliment you can pay me.
You got some
Deer are
great
important,
kids.
but they're not even close to my kids.
That's right. Well, these guys are awesome. Now, you've got some 3-year-olds.
I have no 3-year-olds. I have some 4-year-olds.
Show me the 4-year-olds.
Let's go see them.
So these are your 4-year-olds?
Yes, sir.
They are some super looking deer.
Thank you. Sir, actually, we have the Fleece family, Reggie genetics on this, Bart genetics. Then we have some Walvogel genetics.
Yeah, those are some nice deer. So any naysayers out there that think that you can't raise big deer in Florida, I think.
And these have been here for several years.
Well, those are some beautiful bucks. I mean, nice deer. Now, you may be wondering why in the world would somebody want to bring northern deer in their herd if they have southern deer. The reason why is because when you have northern genetics mature faster. They just get bigger faster. And so anyway, we want our deer to get bigger, faster, And that's the reason why we put Northern Genetics in. But those dudes right there, those are some nice deer. Speaking of nice, have we, it's been nice being here, but have we hit this weather right or what?
Right before the storm.
Right before the storm. I think this is a good
We've
deal.
been blessed.
Yeah, we have been blessed. And if y'all want more information on any of the farms that we've shown you today, all you need to do is just log on to my website. We'll have a direct link and phone numbers and everything to everybody. Mark, if they want more information on the Southeast Trophy Deer Association, again, give them the website information and contact them, and I promise you, got any questions at all, they will be happy to answer them. Give them your website.
SoutheastTrophyDeer.com or SoutheastTrophyDeerAssociation.com. We'd love to have you.
And you know what? They're a good bunch of guys. They got big hearts, and they're doing the right thing. Thank you, sir. I got to get out of here before Isaac slams in. Before you make your next Polaris purchase, you owe it to yourself to check out the #1 Polaris dealer in the country, Hoff Power Polaris. If you'd like to watch full episodes of our programs 24/7 online in full HD, log on to my website at keithwarren.net. There, you'll find the shows, but you'll also find a lot of outtakes and behind-the-scenes videos as well. That's keithwarren.net. Reproductive services for deer and wildlife stories are provided by Whitetail Genetics.